The system of capitalism ain't fair. It ain't fair. You know, people who don't understand what's going on get hit pretty hard. People who are not prepared get hit pretty hard. People that don't have generational wealth get hit pretty hard. People who don't own anything get hit pretty hard. So, to me, the best answer for our people is to kind of say, look, let's look at the game we're playing. It's like if I'm a football player and I'm on a basketball court and I'm mad because I know how to tackle people, but every time I tackle somebody, I get penalized, right? but I'm the best tackler in the NFL, right? But what I got to do is stop and say, wait a minute, I'm playing a different game, right? And if I were on a different field, then that game would win. But this is the game we're playing now, so I got to learn how to shoot some jump shots. I got to learn how to hit some layups. I got to learn how to play some defense. So ultimately, what I would help everybody understand is that if you're playing the game. Give a thumbs up if you hear him well. You're breaking up for me. I want to make sure everybody get these points because okay. Can y'all let me know if you can hear me? I'm gonna check through the chat, make sure you can hear me. So ultimately, I think it's kind of like just one of those things, man, where if you don't know the game you're playing, then it's gonna be tough to win it, right? But there is another game that can be played, and I think we can show our people how to do it. By the way, I think that what they're saying, Jay, is that I think if you mute on your end, then that'll help it come through a little bit better. There we go. All right. Let me try this. Is that better? Let's see here. I don't know how to mute myself, though. I don't know how to mute myself. I don't know how to do that. Oh, yeah. I think there's a little microphone icon. Like if I hit my microphone icon, it mutes me. I don't know. Do you see it? You found it? Okay, cool. So what I'll say to that is that, you know, when you're talking about things like inflation, you know, it is robbery, right? It's not fair. It's totally messed up. It's garbage. It's a terrible, it's a terrible game to have to play, right? The game of capitalism can be very unfair, kind of crazy. But I think that we can, in a conscientious way, prepare ourselves for this kind of stuff, right? So, for example, if you want to beat the inflation trap, it's real easy to do. One, you cannot keep yourself in the working consumer class. You cannot spend your life as a person who simply goes to work, gets a paycheck, and then spends that paycheck at the store. Because here's what's happening, right? Workers' wages are not going up. Workers' wages are staying the same. Workers' wages are not rising with the rate of inflation. If they were rising with the rate of inflation, it'd be different, but they're not, right? So when you make that check, your check is going down. Your pay is going down every year. It's decaying every year. So what you'd want to do is have some strategy of consistent ownership of some sort of asset that's going to go up in value with inflation, right? Some people say something like gold. Owning gold can help. Owning stock helps even more. Owning real estate is really a great way to do, because a lot of people can talk about how the price of rent has gone up a lot. If you look at the last inflationary report, it was rent that shot way up. Also, housing went crazy. You know this because you're right in real estate, right? So ultimately what it is that you have to kind of understand that with inflation, the people at the top are the ones who are printing all this money. They're the ones who are driving inflation. They're the ones who are killing the value of your dollar by spending money like it's going out of style. And then the people at the top are taking care of their friends at the top, because when they pump money out in the economy, the stock market shoots up, right? When they're pumping money out in the economy, real estate shoots up, right? So ultimately what you want to do is get in those games so that when they're doing what they're doing, they're not going to change, right? So if you are a stock owner, then you benefit when they're pumping money out there. If you own a home, then you benefit when home values go up, home prices go up. Don't trap your family in a mindset that says my job is to get up, go to work, get a check, and then go spend it at the store, because they're going to get hit two ways. One, because their wages are not going up, their pay is naturally dropping because of inflation. Two, when they go spend that money, which is already taxed, by the way, their prices are going up, right? So you're getting hit, like you said, waxed and taxed. You get waxed and taxed and faxed and maxed and all this stuff, man. So it's kind of a bad game to play. It's a lose-lose. Like you said, it's a great analogy. It's a star NFL player playing in the NBA. No matter how good you are at your job, at being a mom, at being a husband, at being a churchgoer, being activist, whatever
wherever you are, if you don't understand the game of money, how money moves, the velocity of money, and how to make more money than your money makes for you, and do it in a systematic way that fits your lifestyle, you gonna get waxed and taxed.
Yeah.
If all your plan is, I'm gonna deposit my check in this checking account at 0.001%, that earns me 10 cents on $10,000 in a year, and then I'm gonna get taxed on that 10 cents.
Ooh. Oh man.
But the bank is then gonna use my deposit to get more money from the federal government and then give me a mortgage loan at 5 and 6%.
Wow.
And a credit card at 16%.
Yep.
So my same money. Shout out to Rory Douglas in the building. What up, King? King Lawrence Eagles, and I see you popped in here too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We just gotta shift. We gotta think about it. The big trap really started in the school systems. It was one, not educating us about money and what we can do alternatively with money. It's where the government simply said, and thank you, Karima, for the badge. Appreciate you, Kareem. It's where the government said, listen, all America, working class, industrial class, why don't you guys go to school, get good grades, and get a job? Matter of fact, go to school, get good grades, and get a good government job. But deposit that check into our accounts. Right? That's where your money's safe. It's not safe under the mattress. It's not safe in a safe deposit box. It's not safe in a shoebox. You're not astute enough to go invest it and buy a multifamily home, to buy a duplex, quadplex, or a six family. Don't do that. That's risky. Just hold it here with us and get sub 1%, King Rory says. Right? Get less than 1%. Let the government tax you on that. Let us get deposits from the federal government on your deposit, and then go out here and fight inflation at 6% where your money is worth less. Do that.
Well, that's a great point, man. And I think that what is interesting about what you just said is you talked about the system, right? And the thing about systems in America is that you got to understand why systems are created in the first place. Systems are created to control the masses. You know, like China has to control 1.2 billion people. They got to have systems to do that. You can't have everybody living their best life or living out their purpose or rising to the highest levels at the same time, right? You have to have some sort of unified objective. So in America, systems are designed to get the masses to all kind of do the same thing. Like right now, they're systematically telling everybody what to do in response to the pandemic, right? And so the reason that Black people have to be careful about systems is because, remember, the original system that built America and built those trillions in wealth was this thing called slavery. That was the original system. And all other systems in America, in my view, spin out of slavery. They spin out of that, right? And it's not just as simple as like, oh, well, they don't like me because I'm Black. No, they just exploit anybody. They exploit whoever they can, right? That's sure, you being Black probably doesn't work in your favor, but they're gonna make money. They're just trying to get money. They're like, look, if we could get money without screwing you, without waxing and taxing you, we would. But waxing and taxing you is the easy way for me to get paid, right? So when you look at the bank robbers that kind of created that system that has built trillions in wealth off of the exploitation, particularly of Black people, but also a lot of poor people get screwed as well, right? It really speaks to this idea, or going back to what you said, that we got to question every single thing that is delivered to us in a systematic fashion. The systems are built not to benefit the individual. Systems are built to benefit the system. Like capitalism is a system that benefits capitalism, and the only people that benefit from a capitalist system tend to be people at the top, the ones who design and control the system, right? The people who sort of feed into the system don't necessarily get those benefits. So to finalize that point, man, and I got a meeting I got to run to. I appreciate it. It's great, always great chopping up with you, man. But let me just say this: the school system, everything that it was designed to do was pretty much built to serve the capitalist system, right? That means that we're not building a school system to teach everybody how to be a business owner, because everybody can't own a business. We need employees, right? We didn't design the educational system for everybody to be a producer of a product, because everybody can't be selling something. We don't want competition. We just want everybody to be consumers of products, right? And the system's not built for everybody to be a property owner. That's why it's easier for you to get a student loan or a car loan than it is for you to get a business loan, right? So ultimately, I would encourage anybody, if you want to get one thing away from what we just said today, it's beware of all systems. Beware of anything that is handed to you in a systematic fashion. Black people are special. Our solutions have to be unique, and systems don't deliver any of that. Not any of these systems that exist out here. So educate your own kids, teach them what they need to know, and get them out of that damn trap, that consumer, employee, renter trap, because all those traps are designed to make other people rich and not you. So thanks for letting me get that out, brother.
Well said. Yeah, get to your meeting. I don't want to make you late or tardy, but thank you. We'll keep building on this subject. More on this. I think this is the most fundamental conversation in financial literacy right now. This is the root and crux of financial literacy. And guys, I pinned it right here. Dr. Boyce and I came together, took one of my real estate programs, his stock program, and matched that to come with a program helping you beat the trap. It's beatthetrap101.com if you guys want to get a 2-for-1 on our programs. The opportunity here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about real estate and solutions. But the opportunity about real estate, Dr. Bush, you can drop off whenever you want, but stay as long as you want, for sure.
All right, I'm gonna bounce out, bro.
Is that in real estate, love, B1. In real estate,
all right, guys. Sorry about that. What you heard was me and Jay Morrison talking on his Instagram page. So I know the audio wasn't the best, but I wanted you guys to kind of listen in. And I have a meeting to run to, but the general point of the conversation that I want you to kind of walk away with is to understand that when you're talking about things like what's going on with inflation, here's the deal with inflation. Where's it coming from? Well, inflation's pretty much coming from a lot of it stems from the pandemic. You have supply chain issues that are restricting supply. Whenever you restrict the supply of a commodity, the price tends to go up. So you have constraints in a lot of key inputs that are necessary to run an economy, constraints on things that are coming through ports being shipped across the world. You have constraints where factories can't produce as much because so many of their workers are out because of the pandemic. You have constraints on labor that has just resulted from the Great Resignation, stuff like that. All these things are increasing prices. Now, another interesting pressure point for inflation, in my view, has to do with this interesting monetary policy, where the Fed really overfed the economy. They overfed the economy by just increasing the money supply way beyond the point that it needed to go, which is also going to cause the value of your dollar to depreciate. A lot of people have been saying this for a very long time. And finally, the Fed is admitting that this is an issue. This is a very tough problem to fix. This is going to be hard for them to sort of rein this in. But, that's just kind of what it is. Now, one of the other points I wanted to make in that conversation, you know me, I like to go deeper. I like to kind of take you to the other level of this, is that, remember, inflation tends to benefit wealthy people. Why does it benefit wealthy people? Well, because when inflation happens, the prices of products go up. Well, who benefits when the price of a product goes up? Goes up? The buyer or the seller? Well, the seller benefits, right? So companies, a lot of them see their profits increase when there's inflation. When inflation goes up, the cost of renting an apartment goes up. Who benefits from that? The landlord or the renter? Answer me in the chat. Well, it's the landlord. The renter gets harmed. The landlord benefits, right? Which is why being a property owner means that inflation to some extent can be a benefit to you, or at the very least, you're not going to be harmed by it. When inflation goes up, you also tend to see increases in the values of other assets like gold and things like that. So my point here is to say to you that when you're talking about what happens with inflation is literally straight robbery of working class and poor people, because what happens is that when you are a worker and you're just getting a paycheck and you're not invested in anything, you don't own anything, then two things are happening. One, your paycheck is worth less every year, because if your pay stays flat but inflation goes up, your dollar loses its value. well, then your paycheck's not worth what it would have been otherwise, right? Then number two, you're being taxed. Rich people, business owners, stuff like that, they pay far less in taxes than you do because they have a ton of write-offs that you don't have access to if you're just working a job and just getting a paycheck. The third piece of that is when you are a worker and you're taking your flat paycheck that's going down every year that's already been taxed, and you go out and you buy food, well, the price of food goes up. You're trying to pay your rent, well, the price of rent goes up. When you're trying to go out and buy damn near anything, the price of those assets goes up. So what I would encourage you to do is get on the other side of that fence. That's my point. Think of inflation like a seesaw, right? A lot of times when one group benefits, another group loses, or vice versa. So if you think of a seesaw where the working class person is the person on the bottom side of the seesaw and the other person is on the upper side of the seesaw. Well, sometimes to benefit from the system in terms of how things are already going to happen, you just get on the other side of the seesaw, right? So instead of getting on the renter side of the seesaw, teach your kids to live on the landlord side of the seesaw. This country will never screw its landlords, not the way it screws renters. This country will never screw its producers the way it screws its consumers. This country will never screw investors the way they screw the working class. So make sure your child understands all these things. Make sure your family gets these things. This has to be a shift in our culture. And I honestly, perhaps I sound skeptical when I say this, but I believe that Black people should be skeptical of any system that was designed by people who have oppressed you for 400 years and who have used you as the economic milk to drive this country. They have milked you like a cow. The NCAA continuously takes your wealth by using your athletes, and they don't compensate the community for that. Your prison inmates, you see at Rikers Island, there's a hunger strike right now because they're torturing your people. They're torturing mostly Black men in these prisons and making money off of them, charging them money just to call their damn relatives, just to send an email. All these little things that they do are ways that they milk you like a cow. So do your homework, position yourself where you want to be, and just know America ain't going to stop being racist. America ain't going to stop being capitalist, and stop worrying about whether or not white people like you. They ain't never going to like you. Half y'all don't even like them. So let's just be honest. Y'all don't even like them that much. At the very least, if they were starving, you wouldn't necessarily go out of your way to feed them. So if you wouldn't go out of your way to feed them, then what in the hell makes you think they should go out of their way to feed you? Seriously, I don't believe it makes sense for us as Black people to believe that other people are supposed to care about Black people more than Black people care about ourselves. So that's my 2 cents on the issue. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. If I did, I apologize. I got to go to a meeting. By the way, we're having a generational wealth conference this weekend in the Black Business School. We have about 12 different experts in every area, from credit to crypto to making money from short-term rental property to stock options, all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in joining us, we get started Saturday morning. It's being co-hosted by Julie and Gordon, but we got about 12 experts from different walks, from Forex and everything else, how to write your first book, all kinds of things. So if you'd like to join us for this generational wealth conference, just go to boycewatkins.com. The link is right there on boycewatkins.com. So have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you. Sorry about the audio issues. I just wanted y'all to hear this conversation because I want you to win in life. And so go out here and be a winner. Don't be no loser. You're better than that. I love you. See you later. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.